This is KVUE News Daybreak.
A battle is brewing at the Capitol as lawmakers are set to take up Senate Bill 4, the so-called Sanctuary Cities bill. I'll have details on what's ahead today.
Plus, President Trump unveiling a new tax plan, what kind of breaks it'll give to corporations and what it means for the middle class.
And another high-rise planned for Austin, but this one has some concern, the location that might come as a surprise. Good Wednesday morning to you, and thank you for joining us for Daybreak at 6 a.m. I'm Brian Maines.
And I'm Yvonne Nava. Before we check in with Anavid Reyes for a look at the roads, let's hope they're good today. And let's check in on our weather with Erica Lopez. Hi there.
Hey there, guys. Good morning. Warm, muggy start for our entire viewing area. Dew points remain in the upper 60s, close to 70 degrees. We're already in the mid 70s. A south wind keeps us muggy. That south wind is going to change this afternoon to a north wind. We're talking a drier air mass in our forecast, but still some strong winds. We are seeing gusts of up to almost 30 miles an hour this morning. That could be the case this afternoon. So here's the cold front. Strong storms north. Not going to see much in the form of rain for us here in the Austin metro area. What we are going to see is a decrease in humidity, but still a warm afternoon. All of the full forecast coming up later this morning. First, let's take a look at traffic. Anavid, what's the latest? Any accidents out there?
Actually, yes, Erica. But first, this is a live look at Mopac northbound at Gaines Ranch Loop. This is provided by TxDOT, and you can see traffic is moving quite nicely in this area. But if we go ahead and zoom in south, this is if you're coming in from the Buda area. There is an accident. We are watching this crash on the frontage road traveling I-35 northbound at William Cannon Drive. So if you are heading towards downtown, this might be an area that you want to look out for as you head out the door. Guys, back to you.
Anavid, thank you. Today, members of the Texas House of Representatives in for a lengthy and heated debate. They're taking up Senate Bill 4, a ban on so-called sanctuary cities. We go live now to Corey Coffin at the state capitol. Corey, this should be an entertaining day.
Oh, my goodness. It's going to be a long day as well for lawmakers. Good morning to you, Brian. Senate Bill 4 will require all law enforcement to honor ICE detainers, which are voluntary requests to hold someone while their immigration status is being investigated. Under the House version of the bill, only people who are arrested can be asked their status. Supporters say the bill is about enforcing the rule of law and ensuring jails across the state all follow the same rules. But people across the state have also protested SB 4, saying it will cause even more distrust between the police and the immigrant community. Many believe this could lead to a decrease in reports of violent crime, even a drop in economic activity.
I've been told by several representatives, don't worry about this. This is only going to affect arrested people. And I feel like that really, to me, sounds similar to what we're hearing at the national level, where we're being told that undocumented students like myself don't have anything to worry about. But we know that's far from the truth.
Now, the bill does allow law enforcement on college campuses to ask about a student's immigration status if that student is arrested. There will likely be, though, an amendment filed aimed at changing that particular point. In fact, insiders say House Democrats have more than 100 amendments ready to file during the debate, and all of that begins right here at 9 a.m. Sure to be a long day. We'll be covering it all and have updates for you throughout the day. I'm Corey Coffin reporting live at the Capitol. Guys, back to you.
Corey, thanks. Travis County's sanctuary city policy was also a big topic for Mayor Steve Adler and U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions. The two met yesterday in Washington, D.C. Adler part of a delegation of mayors there to discuss the federal policy. This comes after Sessions announced last month that local governments would lose federal dollars if they continue with the sanctuary city status. Adler says Sessions told him sanctuary cities are based on a federal statute that says a government entity may not prohibit communication between immigration officials.
The question that I asked the Attorney General was, would a county that was not honoring voluntary detainers be a county that would be sanctioned on that regard? And he told me no.
Now, in a statement released following the mayor's comments, the Department of Justice wrote, quote, the Attorney General did not comment or provide a legal opinion as to whether Austin or any other jurisdiction is or is not in compliance. Now, officials at the mayor's office tell KVUE the mayor, Mayor Adler, stands by his previous comments.
Well, just a few days left until President Donald Trump marks his first 100 days in office. And the pressure is on to deliver. President Trump set to unveil the blueprint for his tax reform plan today. Also on the agenda, briefing at the White House on issues rising in North Korea. But the list doesn't end there. Stephanie Ramos explains how our country's leader is tackling these topics along with the fallout over his former national security advisor.
Today's the day President Trump releases his hyped-up tax reform plan. His team calling it a first draft with some key parts still in the works as they barrel through to Trump's 100th day in office. The proposal is expected to call for cutting taxes for corporations and companies like his and small businesses from 35 to 15%, a tax break for child care expenses, and cutting individual tax rates. Also happening today, all 100 U.S. senators will be briefed on the situation in North Korea on White House grounds.
The Secretary of State and others are going to talk about our posture and the activities that we're undergoing, and Chairman Dunford will lay out some of the military actions.
This comes just a day after North Korea fires off its largest artillery drill, just as a U.S. guided missile submarine arrived in South Korea, intensifying the standoff over the North's nuclear weapons program.
A North Korean missile with a nuclear payload capable of striking an American city is no longer a distant hypothetical, but an imminent danger.
The Trump administration also dealing with the fallout over former National Security Advisor General Michael Flynn's business dealings with Russia. The top Republican and Democrat on the House Oversight Committee saying Flynn did not make it known he received money from Russia and likely broke the law.
As a former military officer, you simply cannot take money from Russia, Turkey, or anybody else. And it appears as if he did take that money.
We heard from General Flynn during the presidential campaign last year where he talked about breaking the law when it came to Hillary Clinton. But now, if he did indeed break the law, he could face up to 5 years in prison. In Washington, Stephanie Ramos, ABC News.
Back here at home, Austin school officials holding a meeting to discuss the alleged assault on a 4-year-old girl that apparently happened at a South Austin elementary school. The parents of the girl say she was sexually assaulted on February the 7th at Boone Elementary. Tomorrow, Austin school district officials will meet with any parent who has questions about this incident. This is happening, the meeting is, at the school's cafeteria from 6 to 7 p.m. The 4-year-old's medical records show there was trauma and the child suffered injuries related to sexual assault, but school police closed the investigation without pulling the medical records. The case has been reopened, and Travis County prosecutors are investigating.
The man behind Monday's SWAT standoff in East Austin facing charges this daybreak. Authorities say this man, 27-year-old Arturo Sada, started a fire at a home on Willow Street near Cesar Chavez. This was Monday night. Police say Sada pointed a gun at a firefighter when they asked him to leave the home, then barricaded himself in a room. He surrendered after almost 3 hours in a 3-hour-long standoff. 2 other people were inside the house but were not hurt. Sada could spend up to 99 years in prison if he's found guilty of arson.
Austin showing no signs of slowing down. More people move here every day. That means more buildings are on the way, and another high-rise could be coming to the city, but its location, the location of the building, it's raising some eyebrows. A 30-story high-rise full of residential, office, and retail space could be added to Austin's skyline, but it'll be just steps away from the Austin Resource Center for the Homeless, or ARCH. The National Episcopal Church bought the property that sits between 7th and 8th Streets there a few years ago with plans to build a National Archive facility. The nearly 70,000 square foot facility would be part of the high-rise. Reverend Canon Lang Lowry, who spoke to us by phone, he says he's hoping the project will be a destination spot. He also says Mayor Steve Adler has come up with a good plan to address homelessness in the area.
Really wanted a concept to go around with our archives that would not only make a living archives for us, but make a spot where people would want to come to.
Now, the idea of a hotel could be in the works as well. However, financial details, according to Lowry, should be released in about 3 months. The project will require approval from city leaders. If approved, construction could begin next year.
It looks like former President George H.W. Bush will be in the hospital longer than expected. Doctors now saying the 92-year-old beat pneumonia, but he's still battling chronic bronchitis this morning. The former president has been at Houston Methodist Hospital since April 14th. Officials working with him say they're hoping he'll be released by the end of this week. And there's a growing concern across the country with drug with drugged driving. New statistics show that more drivers killed in crashes are testing positive for drugs rather than alcohol. The Governor's Highway Safety Association points out the increase has happened as more states have legalized marijuana. Now 6:10 is your time. Let's take a look at our forecast. Yeah, got up into the 90s. It was quite warm yesterday. Will today be a carbon copy?
Yeah, well, in terms of temperatures, yes, but in terms of humidity, we're going to have a change in that. And that's because the cold front is just to the north of us. Here's what we're seeing with this cold front. It's severe north of us. So notice a severe thunderstorm warning for the Dallas metro area. Also some severe thunderstorm watches. It's been busy overnight, eastern Oklahoma into Little Rock. For us here in Austin, it's quiet. And in terms of rain shower activity, it's going to remain quiet. We do have a 10 to 20% chance of a spotty shower. It's the warm temperatures and some rather strong winds that we're seeing this morning coming in from the south before the cold front pushes in. But after the cold front pushes in, notice by noon we'll have decreased cloud coverage and winds coming in from the north. A drier air mass is right behind that, and that's also going to allow still our temperatures to remain in the upper 80s and 90s. So I'm going to break down hour by hour exactly what we can expect and also break down who's under a fire danger threat this afternoon. Back to you.
Erica, thanks. A heads up as you track your credit score, major changes are coming to how it's calculated. The biggest trended data is changing. That means a person who's paying down debt is now likely to score better than someone making minimum monthly payments but still slowly accumulating credit card debt. We have much more detail on what's changing in the web version of this story. You can find that on our website. Just search for credit score at KVUE.com. Trying to keep feral hogs off your land? Well, you'll have to hold off on poisoning them. Why one chemical company is pulling back on selling bait to Texans.
And a popular Mexican restaurant chain sending out a warning this morning why Chipotle is urging you to check your credit card statements.